JoJo, I did not know you got it tattooed.
It's new, it's fairly new.
Wow, CEO of gay pop.
And I want to start a new genre of music. It's called gay pop. Gay pop! You created that, JoJo.
Wow, iconic.
30 days ago, I would have never even imagined that I would be friends with Chris Hughes. Like, that is the weirdest thing. Much less be one of the closest people to me now in my life who, like, I would die for. For me, I realized, whoa, I'm in a box that I'm not even meant to be in. I've dated beautiful women, I've dated beautiful non-binary people, I have dated men. And look, I'll be honest, I've said some things in this interview already that I've been like, shit.
Well, I feel like I live the coolest life ever because I'm just casually hanging in Burbank, you know, getting coffee with JoJo Siwa.
We're at my local.
I know, and this is Priscilla. So what is the story of this place?
They have this blueberry vanilla coffee that became my favorite thing ever.
That's what I tried.
That's what you got. So what is really special about this place?
I've never thought about blueberry and coffee, by the way.
So strange, right?
That's awesome.
But here's what's cool, is it's like, you can see all their coffee beans. The bean is what's actually flavored. Oh. So the coffee bean is infused essentially with blueberry. It's cooked, I think, in the like oil. I don't know how they do it. And then it has a vanilla powder in it. It is. Anyways, I'm on I'm on my English breakfast tea kick right now.
Oh, Miss UK right now.
I'm missing my people over there.
From across the pond.
This summer, after 3 long years, I'm going back on tour!
You're going on a 22-date tour.
That is true.
Which, I mean, you're not new to touring, but like, what's going to be different about this time around?
I mean, I'm an adult now, which is crazy. There's elements in this show that make it a lot different than just a typical concert. It's been really fun. It's been really fun to create it as it's like song, funny bit, song, Dance Moms reference, song, JoJo the Bobo reference, song, crowd interactions. You know what I mean? Things from my life that people really like. Quotes that I've said, half of them being with you.
All the quotes being with me.
No one has made, in my generation, this extreme of a switch.
I've completely reinvented myself.
Something that nobody's ever done before.
I mean, no one my age has done this.
And I mean, speaking of you going viral, because obviously we have our viral history, but then like recently the tour went viral. So can you explain to me like what happened with the tickets and the VIP people that are going to be basically building the set as they thought?
Get your hammer and get your drill, babe. Like most exclusive VIP where you actually are going to get to come during while we're like loading in the show, and you're going to get to kind of like help us set it up and make sure things are right and test out, you know, the drum. It's the world I've learned just likes to run with certain things. And honestly, I just like to sit back and let them do it because I think it's hilarious. Obviously, I know the intention behind things. I know what's real and what's not. But yeah, so we did Dream Guest VIP, and I did say, you know, you're going to help get to build the set with me, and you're going to come during, you know, while we're setting up. And so people did take that as like building the set.
Actual
like,
set.
Here we go. Now, there's not
carrying props.
Yeah, carrying props on stage. If you want to, be my guest, but that's not what we're at. That's not what this is. And honestly, the show is ever changing, but the point was people are going to get to have their say in what we actually do that night. So there's going to be a few different parts of the show that are kind of interchangeable, and they can actually choose what that is.
Okay, no, that's awesome. And so you get the full VIP experience. You get to see you before the show, give their opinion. Maybe if they want to grab a hammer, they can grab a hammer.
Exactly. They will be there on site. No, but there's four Dream Guest VIPs in every city.
Oh,
so
it's only 4?
It's very exclusive, very intimate.
Suddenly and not so. Suddenly and not so.
Bulletproof.
Yes.
So what was it like to like pick this song as your come out the gate right?
Okay, so honestly, a few months ago I heard the song and I loved it. I was like, yeah, this is cool. Like I like it. I like that it, you know, had the Fair Jacques melody. I'm in. And then I was in the middle of moving, so I was driving. I wasn't even driving my car. I was driving a U-Haul at the time.
Why were you driving a U-Haul?
Because I was a mess, and I loved driving it. I thought it was so fun. Anyways, I was back and forth to my studio, and I was heading back to my old house when I stopped on the way to do the recording session. And I had a breakdown in the car, and I was really sad. I didn't want to go record it. I was like, I got so in my head about the song. I thought I can't sing. Like, why am I here? Why am I doing this? And then I realized that's kind of what this song is about. So I was like, find it, grow up, and go in there.
I was living in the moment, disconnect from my emotion. It feels better not to feel and even better not to show it.
And I remember recording the song. And actually, funny enough, I'm actually just remembering this now. We warmed up by singing Spice Girls Wannabe. He was like, we should warm up. And I was like, okay, thinking he's maybe like vocal warm. So he starts playing, I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want.
Hey, so tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
So yeah, it was just like, and he didn't know that I was thinking those things or having a meltdown. So I get a demo of the song, and then I put my vocal on it, and then I get my vocal back. And a lot of times what happens is when I hear the demo, I really like it. And then when I hear my vocal, I don't like it as much. And with this song, I actually got my vocal back, and I said, hey, I think you sent me the wrong version. Like, I don't think this is me. And he was like, no, this is you. Like, it sounds really good. And I was like, I don't, what? Like, it was very strange. And I don't know, the world, of course, is going to have their opinions, but I
love that you're already feeling good about the song, because if you feel good about it, then promoting it, all of that will feel great.
It just feels natural.
Because it's crazy to me that even somebody like you would have like confidence issues with music.
Oh,
because
man.
like, you're such a strong person with a big heart, so it's just like interesting that you're like, oh, I don't like this version of the song.
Oh, no. I think my music is the thing that I'm probably most insecure about. I don't know, it's tough, it's hard, and I think a lot of people have a lot of things to say. And I think I've also done some things that have fueled that fire, and it's vulnerable, you know? And it now has put me in a place where, like, I don't like to say I'm a singer. We actually were on Big Brother, and I was, like, really opening up about this, how, like, I'm not a singer, but I can't sing, but I can release a song, and I can make a point, you know what I mean?
That is a quote right there.
Yeah.
But I mean, I love your music, and I think what was great to me is when we talked on the carpet last at iHeart, you were saying like this was the first time that you actually even choreographed your own music video.
Yes.
So talk to me about the music video and how was it to be involved in the creative process? So excited for people to see the music video. The choreography is it turned out so fun. There's this one section where we're in these hoodies, and it's so fun. It was really hard, I'm not gonna lie. 30 dancers is a lot of dancers. We had 2 days of rehearsal, 1 day of filming. It was a lot to get through. And we had these light bars, we did the hoodies, we had ties, and so it was a lot of like intricate choreography. Nice. But it was so fun. It's so fun to get creative. I think for me, when I choreograph things, like I let the song kind of control the way my body moves, and I just play it, and whatever happens, and we kind of go from there. There's this one part, actually, it's the first pre-chorus, and all the dancers are in a circle around me, and I'm in the middle. And initially, I was just standing still. And then I watched the first cutback, and I was like, we watched the playback, and I was like, I don't like standing still. I was like, I gotta do something. So anyways, so I freestyled, and I was like, wait, I like this freestyle. Let me figure out what I just did. And it was 4 8 counts of freestyle. So it was. And you used that as the choreography.
And we used that then as the choreography, like on set. I was like, I gotta work this out, and it turned out.
I mean, do you feel pressure when you're doing the choreography yourself? Because like, again, obviously the Karma choreography
explodes.
Iconic level, way up here, high. Like, do you have that pressure on yourself when you're making up?
Okay, the pressure on me comes from the other dancers in the room. Because they were really good, and they work with everybody under the sun. And so I'm like, I want to make it good for them. Because the world's going to do what the world does, you know what I mean? But I want to make it good for this. I want these 30 people to be like, damn, this is good. And if they think that, I'm satisfied. I love Karma. I will say that song, that pump that's in there, but everything else that I released doesn't feel as naturally as I want it to. I am working on an album. It'll be my first album ever, which is crazy. Even as a kid, I never had an album, only EPs. So I'm really excited about that. I have a lot of ideas for it. And before I went to the UK, I had a lot of days where I spilled my guts about things that I have never spoken about things that I guess I've been too afraid to speak about, or just haven't felt the need to. Even though my life is so public, there's still so much, right, that
you keep to yourself.
I keep to myself, yeah. And I think the reason why I'm okay to do that within this is because I want the album to feel so real and raw and relatable. You know what I mean? So I was very open about my specific problems, but then very clear on, but I don't want to talk about my problems. I want to talk about just the problem and the solution in every song.
When you choose your lover, that's when you choose your fighter.
I feel like we got a preview of that, Choose Your Fighter.
Yes.
Because those lyrics obviously sting.
Yeah.
You came from a personal place. So how do you like balance and draw that line of like, I want to communicate this publicly, but also like keep part of my story private?
I mean, look, I'll be very, very real with Choose Your Fighter. I didn't write the song, but I heard it, and it was so relatable to me. And that's what's special about a song is everyone can relate to that, right? And I think for me, that's where it's like, anything you go through in life, there's 7 billion people. You know what I mean? Like somebody else has gone through this or is going through this. And I think that's something to remember no matter what you're feeling. You might be feeling like today's the best day ever, but I got a chocolate muffin and a plain croissant when I wanted a chocolate croissant and a blueberry muffin. But somebody else has had that problem. You know, everybody's breakfast is messed up occasionally. You know what I mean? And that's a small problem. We're talking big problems. But yeah, I think that there's so much power in being vulnerable and real and raw and down to earth and not trying to hide behind something.
Right now, I am eating JoJo Siwa ice cream with a JoJo Siwa spoon. And I'm JoJo Siwa.
You recently used the word JoJo Siwa and how like that was your public persona. You're kind of shaving that down.
Yeah.
And I feel like even you coming in today, like it's a different JoJo than I'm even normally seeing. You know, like you're chill and you're like comfortable in yourself.
Yeah.
So how has it been kind of shaved that off and like be more real, if we use that word?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think I saw what people were talking about because when I came out of Big Brother, I put my face on, right? And I was in the house and even though I had my face on, I was still the same way that I was for the last 20 days, right? Being quote unquote normal, we'll just call it. I was the same way. But the second that I got out of the house, I saw the crowd and saw the cameras and saw the microphone, I immediately snapped into like, this is awesome. And I didn't realize it then. And then I went home that night or to the hotel that night. I didn't see my phone until the morning, but when I did, people were commenting on that video being like, whoa, how did that happen so quick? Where's the JoJo that was in the house? And I actually saw what people were talking about for the first time. And I was like, huh. So now I've tried to make a conscious effort, right, to not feel as if I have to do that, right? Because you can, and that's totally cool too. But now it's finding the balance. Truthfully, right now I'm prepping for this performance in Mexico. And it's like, what is the balance? Because you know, I do still want to have stage presence, right? When I'm on stage, I still want to be out there. I still want to be larger than life. But what is the version of that isn't this, like, thing that I'm not? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean...
Welcome to being 21 and trying to figure it out, man.
You're, like, still trying to figure it
All
out.
I'm trying to do is figure
and
my shit
doing it on
out.
reality TV is also crazy.
Like, how is our life that we choose to come lock ourselves in a Big Brother house for 3 weeks and hope for the best?
Exactly.
And so when you go into these shows and you build these relationships, like what's that like, and why do you feel like you walk away with friends?
It is one of my favorite things about doing a show like that. Dancing with the Stars, I came out with my best friend Ezra and obviously Jenna. Special Forces with Tyler and Nick. Big Brother with obviously Chris. I think every person that's come into my life and felt so special has felt so different from one another, right? No one's duplicated, but you just know, and you just are like it blows my mind that 30 days ago, I would have never even imagined that I would be friends with Chris Hughes. Like, that is the weirdest thing, much less be one of the closest people to me now in my life who, like, I would die for, you know what I mean? And so, I don't know, I think it's a combination of the shared experience, but also with Big Brother, you know, you're in such an exhilarated environment, right? You have no phone, you have no outside communication, you have no distraction, you have nothing. And so, specifically there, like, it's just, you have, like, only have each other, and when you're at your lowest lows, you have each other. Your highest highs, you have each other. I think I just love connecting, and I love people, and I love getting to know people. And when someone comes into your life and you enjoy it, you know what I mean? Like, you can tell. It's even like, I'm about to hype you up for a second. I've been in the industry for 12 years, okay? I do interviews all the time. I do press all the time. Things don't even faze me really anymore, right? And, you know, they say, hey, JoJo, like, you're doing this today at Priscilla's at 11, this is what it is, da, 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 da. And I say, oh, okay, cool. Oh, I wish I could sleep, you know what I mean? But I'm like, it's gonna be great, whatever, I'm excited. But I'm like, you wake up at 8 a.m. and you're like, oh, here we go. And then they say, oh, by the way, it's with Tetris. And I'm like, oh, I love him, you know what I mean? And so, like, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, you and I, we should go to dinner sometime, and we should be friends. Should go to dinner. But it's like similar to when, like, you just like somebody.
You make connections through this industry. What else have you brought back from the UK? Like, what have you brought any slang? Did you pick up on any phrases?
So much slang. I keep saying like we'll take a proper break. Like that's something that I keep saying. I don't know why. They don't even really say that, but everyone over here is like, that's very English of you to say like
a proper break.
In 10 minutes we'll take a proper break. That's over 10 more minutes, then we'll take a proper. I'm drinking tea now. I call everybody like darling, babe. Like I'm very like I like when I hug people now too. I want to like kiss them on the forehead, which is so weird.
That's very UK.
Yeah, very.
And I feel like, is there any other reality show that you would do? Because I have to be honest with you, I'm obsessed with Traders.
I want to do Traders.
You have to do Traders.
So bad. Okay, no. Do you know what I want to do? This is what I want to do. I want to do a reality show though, where all of my reality friends are on it.
Okay.
So I want it to be something like that, or something. Even if it was like I don't know what it is, but I want Chriselle. I want Christopher. I want Tyler. I want Ezra, I want Jenna. I want to think of all my reality star friends and get the Vanderpump cast in there. You know what I mean? Like, I want to make a cohesive cast. Because I'm always like, Traders would be so fun as a whole. But imagine if now, like, people got to see Christopher and I's friendship, right?
Okay.
Imagine that relationship happening now on Traders. And you get to see that bond continue to grow, kind of.
I see the vision.
Or
and people know each other more.
And they know each other more. Or if it was like Tyler, you know what I mean? And it was like, you know that these people already know each other. Because you come out of these shows friends. I think that's what's a little different, is like with Special Forces, like none of us were really that close on the show. But then after, we got so tight. That's almost what's cool, is like, what's the next level? And I guess Christopher and I are like a little bit in talks about something there, but like that would like continue the adventure.
I'm your guilty pleasure.
Like, you have been like your own thing, your own vibe. Have you ever thought about like collaborating and like who you would bring in on an album?
I would love that. My album right now, I'm working with Rock Mafia. They are incredible, and I love them. Tim and Antonina, with my whole entire heart, and the whole team. They're iconic. To even think and be able to say like, oh, I'm working with Rock Mafia is just
Rock Mafia.
Literally me.
It's in my head.
Dead serious. The first time I went there, I was sitting there, and I didn't know I was meeting with Rock Mafia. I just knew I was meeting with Antonina. Right, that's all I knew. So I'm sitting there, and I was like, I really want a song like Can't Be Tamed. And they like kind of laughed, and they were like, that's easy. And I was like, great.
Sure, let's do it.
So then anyways, then I was walking out, and I was like, oh my God, cool. That reminds me of like Rock Mafia. And they were like, you know, that's us. And I was like, wait, what? Like, it didn't commute. It didn't commute. I found it. I found it really quick.
You went on a journey and you made it there.
It's my favorite though now, like on Big Brother we were singing 7 Things, and that's a Rock Mafia. You know what I mean? Like they have so many hits. So many hits.
The 7 things I hate about you.
Listen, you look amazing and always come on the carpet like ready to give a look, ready to serve. How do you process that, and how have you processed your change in fashion as you're growing up?
I mean, honestly, it's kind of just a day by day. Like today was like, what am I going to wear? And then I was like, I'm wearing my Billboard hoodie. I'm going to Billboard. I'm wearing my Billboard hoodie. You know what I mean?
Great.
Even iHeart, I planned that 3 days before I went.
How'd you do that hair, by the way?
Etsy.
Stop it. Stop.
Deadass. I Googled super funky drag queen wigs.
Super funky drag queen wigs. And boom.
And that's what I got.
There you were. Wow.
Yep, I saw that floating ball. I messaged a guy and I was like, can you get this to me by tomorrow? Then I went to the Versace outlet.
Done.
That was that.
Wow, amazing. And I mean, you're talking about, like, again, drag queen culture, which brings me to, like, you have been so honest about your sexuality.
Yeah.
Coming out as LGBTQ, and then now switching to, you said the L to the Q. Like, how is it to kind of, like, do all of this in front of people? Like, that's what's so mind-blowing to me.
It's really hard because people tear it apart, right? They tear everything apart. And I understand if you have no context why people tear things apart, right? But I don't know. I think, again, there's people who are going through the same thing that I'm going through. There's somebody who has identified as one sexuality and then maybe had this realization within themselves, but they don't now feel like they can, you know, change or grow. It's not even changing, it's you're growing. And I think for me, I realized, whoa, I'm in a box that I'm not even meant to be in. You know what I mean? I've dated beautiful women. I've dated beautiful non-binary people. I have dated men, which is crazy as a 16-year-old me, but it's okay. But I'm like, I realize that's just who I am. You know what I mean? And I realized for myself that I just like human, right? And I think I actually got to give it to 17-year-old me for saying she was pansexual, because she was, you know what I mean? And I think that was my initial gut. And then I think I fell for a girl, and then I thought, oh, that means I'm a lesbian, right? But that's not necessarily the case. And so I think for me, I just kind of opened my eyes to, you know, maybe I'm queer. And I think that's kind of a more umbrella term, just being, hey, my eyes are just open, you know what I mean? And you can love whoever you want to love. And I think that's what's so beautiful about the LGBTQIA community, is like, the whole thing is love is love. Love who you want to love who you want to be with, who you want to be with, right? Whether that be a woman, a man, a non-binary person, love is love, and you can't control it.
But how is it to love is love in front of people? Like, your relationships, I feel like, have also been scrutinized.
Yes.
And so how do you decide, okay, I have to protect this, I'm going to keep this private, or, you know what, I'm just going to be with this person on TikTok and be
I let the other person decide the public side of things, because for me everything's public, and I think that's really hard. And I think I've gravitated towards people with a more private life, and I don't know, there's always this like weird phase where it's like you don't know, but then once they're comfortable posting, you know, it kind of opens the door for me to post. But I still know that I have this large platform. I don't know, it's difficult. It's really difficult. It's hard. I don't know. It's something that I haven't quite worked out yet. And I think people have a magnifying glass and a microscope, and they look and they judge. And it's also, I understand the look of, it's fun for people. You know what I mean? Like,
you hit the nail on the head, bro.
Yeah, people really enjoy the tea, the gossip. Like, that's fun for people. And look, for me, for my past partners, for anybody that's in my life, it's a real life. And I think the easiest thing that I can do is let the internet do what they do, and we know that's going to happen, and then we can do whatever it is we do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, you're talking about how you like struggle with figuring all that out. Something that you've done great as a 21-year-old, I feel like, is on Big Brother, when you had to deal with, we'll say, Voldemort, as you called him.
Yep.
And I mean, you've been very public about trans rights and just speaking out on behalf of people. And in that situation, you had somebody in the house that was just like being awful about
crazy.
that.
If I stay longer than 4 days, you won't be gay anymore.
I can guarantee I will still be gay, and I will still be in a very happy relationship.
I'm gonna vote the lesbian out real quick.
JoJo.
That's homophobic.
It was really bad what you went through, so I'm sorry about that. So how was it to kind of take that gentle parenting approach and like be mature and speak to him that way?
Yeah, it was interesting. It was easy. It was very easy to, once I came back from planet Earth, and once I realized, because it was day 2, okay? And so nobody was speaking up yet. Like, it was like nobody knew what to do. Nobody knew the vibe. Nobody knew the dynamics. And so for me, I was very much so like, am I being crazy? Like, am I that person that's like trying to like change this? Like, what's going on? And I gotta give it to Chris, because he stood up and told Mickey to knock it off, and he did even more so than what they aired. What I felt when you were over there was like you had my back, and that, to be honest, we've known each other less than 24 hours. You have no reason to have my back.
Because it's right and wrong, though, isn't
it? But it's between right and wrong, and that meant a lot. So
yeah, it's not about having your back. It's
Thank you. Yeah.
There's right and then there's wrong.
And he at that time wasn't in a position necessarily where he was doing it for me, you know what I mean? And he was just doing it to do it and to stand up for the whole entire community. And that, I think, was such a beautiful thing to see. And then that kind of gave me the reassurance of like, oh no, this man is, you know what I mean? Because in the heat of the moment, you don't know your left foot from your right. And then I realized, though, I cannot change his mind, right? But I can speak to him, and I can have conversation with him, and I can be an example of how to deal with somebody like him. You know what I mean? And people have to deal with this with their families, with their friends, and I can be an example on how to. It might not be the right way how to, but it will be a way on how to. Last year prides were
celebrate.
crazy.
Yeah, like how was the whole process?
I guess I didn't expect the like level that it
It was
was.
wild.
I mean, setting records in Miami and Chicago, it was crazy. And it was also a whirlwind in my life. I was in a wacky relationship. It was fun. It was so fun. We were faking being bad and faking being naughty. And you know, I have one dancer who was younger than 21, and we were my alcohol on stage was never real alcohol. It was Fireball or Tito's.
Oh, I remember.
Or it was Fireball or Tito's, but the Fireball was apple juice and Diet Coke.
Of course,
And the
because there
Tito's
was a
water.
couple of times you were taking swigs, and I was like, how
You're like, there's
is this
no
girl
way.
doing? Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me. I'm so proud of you.
I hope you enjoyed your Priscillas.
Yeah, man, it was good
We'll
coffee.
come here one day without cameras, without microphones.
Well, now get the real tea then. Yes.
Oh, man, babe, there's loads of it. Cheers to that.